Today on this date, I'm going to relay further developments with regard to human rights abuses and offences against my constitutional rights that have been occurring since I became a married mother. As a woman of advocacy with the past 15 years, I'm still very offended that mental health practitioners and general practitioners have abused their positions and have caused defamation of character and misdiagnoses, and that have conspired against a married mother simply due to my property in Ardfert and Kilflin, County Kerry. So this upload is also with regard to the other issues of violations that have occurred in my abodes with practitioners in my proximity, disturbing the peace and exacerbating their offences. I'm also quite disappointed with the Ombudsmen that have heard from me since 2017 and have not resolved their offences, with regard to the harms and abuses that my child experienced. So my child was abused when unlawfully separated from me, and when I became a married mother, I was violated by mental health practitioners simply due to my farm holdings. The issue of individuals trespassing onto my property and breaching confidentiality and disrespecting my matrimony is another issue. So the Ombudsman, with regard to the general practitioners, the mental health practitioners that caused harm to my son and I, and that have still not resolved these issues, and that have been aware of exacerbatory offences, is still a matter that I am awaiting to be addressed. The issue of being in the present circumstance while those trespassing on my marital property and discussing my property of my marriage and ancestry without any right or entitlement is also another serious offence that I'm surprised the Department of Justice and the ECHR haven't acknowledged or addressed appropriately. So as a woman of legislation, and that has impacted on society positively, and as a humanitarian and a woman of advocacy and recovery for the past 15 years, I find it quite extraordinary that individuals are discussing matters that are of no relevance to them and that they have no remit or right to be discussing. So there's a very dangerous situation occurring. My husband, as far as I know, is a missing person now as well. My child is a missing person legally also, and the authorities have not addressed any of the offences I'm experiencing. So the individuals that are relaying falsehoods and that are trespassing on my property and into my proximity, and that are of slander of character against a recovery advocate that has experienced spiritual violence and treason, and the establishments and agencies that have utilised light fragments from my light body as a universal light worker, and that have made monetary gains, and that have tried to monopolise a situation by isolation and withholding information and thinking they have an authority in a situation where they have no right to be, is a very serious issue for society, culture, heritage, etc., etc. So at the moment, the issue of individuals continuing in their spiritual assaults against a law-abiding citizen, a universal light worker, a sacred royal that has been highly disrespected and whose child has been abused in state care, and individuals in my proximity exacerbating their offences that they are guilty of not addressing or resolving, is highly, highly dangerous for all involved. So there has been sacred light of this woman utilised for monetary gains in Tralee, County Kerry. There have been frauds in my proximity exacerbating their wrongdoings and offences and speaking out of place where they have no right to be speaking. So the individuals of falsehoods and fallacies, as I refer to it, have tried to delude themselves with a new twist in the tail. And in the past 3 years, they have not adhered to good practice in any sense of the word. And those individuals that have damaged society, privacy, and other many more important factors of this entire situation are liable and are liabilities to themselves and to society at large. They have damaged nature, wildlife, and my ancestral property. For the interest of those that are assisting offences against the state and that are damaging my royal bloodline, for the interest of those assisting property theft, financial theft, identity theft, and child abuse. It is common knowledge the abuse my child experienced from 2 years of age, and it is common knowledge that the relevant agencies did not address this issue with his mother, the lawful mother of my only son. So those assisting further offences while assisting those individuals trespassing where they have no right to be, and that are violating whistleblower protection laws, and that are treasonous, and that are utilising commodities as they have made them at the moment, commodities of a sacred purpose. I hope the ECHR is aware of the issue of negotiations and bargaining and bartering of individuals with no respect for the law. So the authorities that are aware of the individuals that have damaged my child, that have damaged my farm holdings, and that have damaged other more serious aspects of this entire facade, I hope you're aware of the consequence of these offences against a law-abiding citizen that is being stolen from, simply due to hate crime, which is a state offence. So those imposing that are discussing matters they have no right to be discussing, I would appreciate you addressing your debts for damages, harms and losses since 2006. And I hope the Mental Health Commission and the Medical Council are aware of the importance of sanity and sobriety and the Hippocratic Oath. And I hope the democracy is respected, and I hope the Constitution is respected for women and children's best interests. And as regards my son, that is legally a missing person, I hope those that are deluding themselves with damages, harms and losses and violence against faith and family are aware of the issues that have been caused as a consequence of their thieving and trespassing. So I would appreciate whistleblower protection laws, royal patronage, regent's law, etc., being all acknowledged before any more exacerbatory offences are caused. So today, this is the update. There is avoidance and evasion, and there is still debts due.